Are you experiencing the freeze response? Being in freeze mode is often related to trauma and stress. This is one of our survival responses. Being in freeze causes stress in the body and it hinders recovery. So it's important to understand it, which I'll talk about in this video. It's also important to understand how to get out of it. And I'll talk about that in some other videos. I recently talked about fight-flight responses, two more of our survival responses. And the link to that video is below this video. I've got good feedback on it. People said they found it really helpful. At the end of this video, I'll tell you how you can access a live training where I talk about the signs that we're getting stuck in these survival responses, fight, flight, freeze. But for now, let's focus on the freeze response. This refers to a state of psychological and physiological immobilization in which a person feels overwhelmed and is unable to fight or flee from the threat. Instead, they freeze as a way of protecting themselves. So here are 9 signs that someone may be in freeze mode. Let me know which ones resonate. So the first sign is the inability to move. The person may appear physically frozen or immobile, and they may have difficulty moving their body, even when it would be appropriate or necessary to do so. It's a bit like a rabbit in headlights. Rabbit sees headlights and they literally just freeze. So the third sign is that there are changes in our breathing. The freeze mode can be accompanied by shallow or irregular breathing. The individual may not be taking deep breaths, and this can contribute to feelings of anxiety or feeling constricted. Fourth sign is changes in heart rate. The heart rate may decrease during the freeze mode. That might seem counterintuitive. You'd have thought, being in a threatening situation, your heart rate would increase. But this lowering of heart rate can lead to feeling of heaviness or lethargy. So the fifth sign, similar to fight or flight, is muscle tension. So despite the overall feeling of immobility, some muscles may become tense or tight as the body prepares itself for this potential threat. Sixth sign is our mind can go blank. It can be challenging to think clearly or make decisions. I had that experience once when someone said something to me, and it was quite outrageous what they said. They were kind of trying to tell me that something would be advantageous to me when I felt that it wasn't advantageous to me. Now, at the time, I was not very good at confrontation. So I would kind of avoid confrontation, and I also wasn't very good at validating my feelings and emotions. So I kind of went into freeze response. I didn't respond, but this freeze response created a lot of tension in my body, and because I had mecfs at the time, that just left me feeling physically exhausted afterwards because I generated a stress response, but it didn't go anywhere. Since then, I have trained myself to, number one, validate my feelings, to be much more comfortable about conflict and not avoiding it. So I don't go into that freeze mode as much, okay? So seventh sign is difficulty in communicating. So that's what I was experiencing in that situation. An individual may have trouble speaking or expressing themselves verbally. Their voice may be weak, they may stutter. Eighth sign, the person may experience tunnel vision. Their focus narrows, which means it's more difficult to perceive their surroundings fully, which can be important in a threatening situation. Ninth sign, some people describe that they feel as if they're either stuck in a specific moment or time has slowed right down. I think I said I was going to share 9 points. I've got 10 points. 10th sign is hypervigilance. So some individuals may experience hypervigilance where they're intensely focused on the potential threats and dangers, even though they're not actively reacting to them. So as I said in the beginning, the freeze response is a normal part of the body's stress and trauma responses. However, if someone gets stuck in these modes consistently or experiences frequent activations in situations that are not life-threatening, that may be indicative of unresolved trauma or chronic stress. So it's important to address the underlying issues and develop healthier coping strategies. So I will talk about that in another video. In the meantime, do check out this video I made on making the shift from fear to trust, accessing the healing state, in which I share some strategies. So as I mentioned, the freeze mode is one of the survival strategies, as are the fight-flight responses. On Thursday, the 7th of September at 4:30 p.m. BST, I'll do a live training where I explore the signs that we are getting stuck in these survival responses. So comment below this video if you'd like the link to either join me live or watch the replay. So do follow me for more content, leave a like and leave a comment if you found this video helpful, and share the video. Thanks very much. Keep going, you've got this. Wishing you great health.